Dear students, welcome to the course Operating Systems. Myself, Tawfiq Naqshbandi from Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Islamic University of Science and Technology, will be presenting second lecture of the course Operating Systems. Before starting today's e-lecture that is related to operating systems, I am making an assumption that you people are aware about the facts and fundamentals related to computer concepts. If not, then I suggest you please go through the previous e-lecture related to fundamentals of computer systems. Now let us start our today's e-lecture, that is operating systems. An operating system is a program that acts as an interface between a computer user and computer hardware. Now what do you mean by this? I can say that it acts as a bridge between a user and hardware. That means I as a user can interact with hardware via operating system. Now let's have a look on the picture depicted over here that user is at the top end somewhere. It interacts with the software. Software we have two types, one is system software and another is application software. System software or application software interacts with the operating system, and in turn operating system interacts with the hardware. That is, I can say that software acts as a bridge between user and the hardware. This picture depicts the abstract view of operating systems. We will learn all these concepts in detail in subsequent lectures. Now, second important point in defining an operating system is that operating system controls the execution of all kinds of programs. That is, whatever program I have written in order to perform a task, the execution of that program is controlled by operating system. Third important point in defining an operating system is that an operating system controls multiple applications and users in a fair and efficient manner. Now let's have a detailed look on this point. An operating system controls multiple applications. That is, multiple applications can be coordinated by operating system. Now let's have an example of this. We all people are using nowadays handset devices, that is our mobile phones. In each and every mobile phone there are numerous applications. Some of the famous applications which we all are using are Facebook, WhatsApp, Gmail, listening to the music, I can say music app. We are having another application that is Skype. These are all applications which come under application software. Now, sometimes I use all these applications at the same time. Now, who coordinates these applications? This is the functionality of operating system which coordinates all these multiple applications in an efficient and fair manner. Now, another purpose of an operating system is to provide an environment in which a user can execute programs. So I can say that it provides me an environment, operating system provides me an environment in executing a program. I'm not bothered about the implementation or how an operating system is written. I'm bothered about how I can execute my program. So it provides me an environment. This thing provides me an environment in which I can execute the programs. Now some of the popular operating systems are Linux operating system. Linux operating system, as you might be all aware about that, Linux operating systems are open source operating systems. That is, the code of those operating systems is available. We have Windows operating systems, we have VMS operating systems, we have ZOS, we have AIX, we have different types of operating systems available in the market. Now let's go to our next slide. Now, what are the objectives of an operating system? First objective, to hide the details of hardware by creating abstraction. Now, what do you mean by abstraction? Abstraction, I can define that some of the functionalities are hidden in order to reduce complexity and increase efficiency. That is, the programmer hides some of the facts related to an object. Second point, or I can say the second objective, is to allocate resources to processes. Now, what do you mean by process? A process is an instance of a computer program that is being executed. So, operating system is responsible for allocating resources. Resource means, for example, some process may need printer, some process may need memory, some process may need some other thing. So it is the job of operating system which helps in allocating the resources to these processes. In other ways, I can say that it is a resource manager. Operating system provides a pleasant and efficient user interface. Now, we have some goals of an operating system. We have two goals. One is primary goal and another is secondary goal. Primary goal is to make computer systems convenient to use. Now, what do you mean by convenience? For me, if I am not educated, for me it should be convenient. I should be able to use this. Nowadays, you'll be using, all people are using mobile phones, whether he is educated or whether he is uneducated, whether he knows anything or whether he does not know, whether he does not know anything. It is by the convenience of these systems. These systems are simpler to use. I can interact with laptop via operating system. It provides me an convenience that I can use the system. Now, the secondary goal of an operating system is to use computer hardware in an efficient manner. We can have different functions of an operating system. Some of the main functions of an operating system are: we have memory management, we have processor management, we have device management, we have file management, we have security, we have control over system performance, we have job accounting, error detecting aids, we have coordination between other software and users. Now let us study them one by one. First one is memory management. Now, what do you mean by memory management? Memory management refers to management of primary memory or main memory. That is, each and every system is having some memory. Now, who manages that memory? I am talking here about main memory, that is your RAM. So, it is the responsibility of operating system to manage that memory. That is, to keep track of primary memory, that is, what part of it are in use by whom, what part of are not in use. operating system decides which process will get memory, when and how much. That is, it is the job of the operating system to provide memory to a process. In which environment? Multi-programming environment. That is when a user runs multiple programs at the same time. So it is a responsibility of operating system to allocate memory to those processes. Now when that process is not in use, it is the responsibility of operating system to deallocate that memory so that other processes can use that memory. So we should keep in view four things in memory management. That is to keep track of memory. Second thing is that which process gets memory, when and how much, allocation of memory and deallocation of memory. Now second important function of operating system is processor management. That is which process gets the CPU, that is the brain of the computer. We can have number of processes at the same time. Now which process will get the memory, which process will get the CPU, which process will not get the CPU. So it is the job of operating system to manage the processor. In multi-programming environment, operating system decides which process gets the processor, when and for how much time. This function is called process scheduling. So scheduling of those processes is the functionality of what? Is different functionality of operating system. We have different activities over here. That an operating system does the following activities for processor management. It keeps track of processor and status of process. The program responsible for this task is known as traffic controller. It allocates the processor CPU to a process. It allocates the processor when a process is no longer required. Third important function of operating system is device management. That is which process gets the device. We can have a number of devices. We can have input-output devices. For example, printer is there. Which process will get the printer first? Or whenever you give print a function, whenever we give print function, which document is to be printed first? Which will be in the queue first? That document will be printed first. So it is the job of operating system to keep track of all devices. It decides which process gets the device, when and for how much time. It allocates the device in most efficient way. It deallocates the devices. Now another important functionality of operating system is file management. Now what do you mean by file? File is basically a set of records. We can define a file system is normally organized in directories. An operating system is responsible for file management. That is to keep track of information, location, use, status. That is to keep the track of information. Which information is stored where? The location of that, the use of that, the status of that file. Decides who gets the resources, allocates the resources, deallocates the resources. Now some of the activities which an operating system can perform are First important thing is security. Everyone nowadays is more concerned about security. We always keep passwords in order to prevent our devices to be unauthorized access. That is, by means of passwords and other techniques, we prevent unauthorized access to programs and data. Second important activity is control over system performance. That is, it records delays between request of a service for a service and a response from the system. Now, whenever I request for something, for example, I am giving printf function. Now, how much time system takes to print that? If there is a delay, if there will be delay, that delay will be recorded by the operating system. Another thing is job accounting, keeping track of time and resources used by various jobs and users. We have another thing, that is error detection aids. It provides us various error detection aids, that is protection of dumps, traces, error messages, and other debugging and detecting aids. That is, whenever an error happens in operating system or in our system, it provides us with trace of that. Trace means it provides us the location of that error, where that error had happened. Last but not the least activity of an operating system is coordination between other softwares. As you all might be knowing that we have different types of softwares in our system. We have different types of applications in our system. Now the coordination between all those softwares is handled by an operating system so that our system can perform well. Hope you would have enjoyed this lecture. If you will be having any queries, mail me at mtechnb@gmail.com. Thank you.